interesting little anecdotal stories about me. Recently, I was at a workshop and they asked us to think of what animal would you say that you are? Think of all the different animals. And I got to it really quickly, but what an awful question, isn't it? I am a baboon. I'm a big baboon. In fact, I've eaten too much for Christmas. I'm a big baboon. Huh. I'm a shark, or I'm a snake. I can think of a few snakes, a few employers that I work for that have been absolute snakes. I bet you have too, eh? It's weird, isn't it? How if you want to insult somebody, often you use animal names. Oh, you ass. Or frog. I've been called a frog because I'm half French, of course. Oh, what a horse. Oh, you're right, donkey. Dog. Bitch. Oh, dear, that is insulting, isn't it? Chicken. Chicken means cowardly, doesn't it? But, yeah, but going back to what animal I chose, I said cat. Now, not because I'm a cuddly, warm thing or quite independent, but because I've had 9 lives like a cat does. I'm so accident prone. So in this little chat now, I'm going to tell you all about the accidents that I've experienced. Oh, so you toad. You sheep. You ass. Oh, you ape. Are you aping me? Oh, I know I'm a bat. I'm quite batty, aren't I? Oh, isn't it weird how we think of animals and, you chimpanzee, crocodile. Going back to chickens, so I reckon I was back at work. I think a lot of public servants have experienced this. I was a free-range chicken, and then over the years you became a battery hen chicken, kept in the dark and made to produce loads and loads of eggs, and not a very nice life either. Produce more eggs. And a lot of public servants work more hours than what they're paid for, just to cope with the work demand. And I think across the public sector you get this. And what happens is you get very high staff turnover, don't you? Teachers very high, prison officers, NHS staff. I think public bodies are not very good employers. And across the board, actually, I think employers probably have lost skills in motivating people and managing people well. And people are just treated like numbers today, aren't they? It's sad. We need to value employees more. And they don't care if you leave. But staff turnover costs a lot of money, costs companies a lot of money. Anyway, going back to me being a cat and having 9 lives, I've had a few very, very serious accidents, actually, and I'm quite lucky to still be around. And I've had a few lesser, minor ones. More recently, I got all these wrinkles, and I got this sort of sideways here and wrinkle there. And that's due to me headbutting things. Yeah, headbutting things. And I was chatting away to this person. I was walking towards this building. And I was saying, "How are you?" And this automatic door swung out, and I headbutted it, and boom! And they stuck it together with some sort of super glue stuff. And then I headbutted my head again on the tailgate of my car. And I was going, "Oh no, oh!" But going back to my childhood, I remember one of my first ones when I was a little toddler. I actually ran out in front of a car. Blimey, on the road, I could have been squashed at the age of about 4, and that shit's one of my earliest memories. That was a close one. Later, much later, I again ran out of the front of a moving car when I was about 21. I was a junior manager in a restaurant in Northwood, and I just finished work, and I had my dicky bow tie on and my white shirt, and I was coming out of the restaurant. And these guys came along and they tried to rob me of my wages, of my £14 a week that I'd earned that week. a week. Yeah, and I had my pay packet there, and they were trying to get me to go through my pockets, and I would let them through. And they pretended to have a gun in me back, and I squeaked, and I managed to thump them like that, and I. And there was two of them, and I managed to get away, and I ran out in front of a moving car in Northwood High Street, very closely, nearly hitting me, and I knew they wouldn't follow me, otherwise, they would have been hit by the moving car. That was scary. Oh, another time I went to the Gare du Nord in Paris, and I went to the gents' urinals, and I was having a wee, and this guy started playing with his thing, and he got a knife out, and he started gesturing me with his knife. Did I run away out of those urinals so quickly? I don't think I'm bothered doing my flies up, and I ran out of there quick, and I ran down the road, and I went round, and I went through a subway, and I made sure that he couldn't follow me. Oh, I was frightened. Scary, isn't it? Oh. But one of the worst, I guess, was, and I remember when I was about 14, I was struggling to open this beer bottle with my penknife, and I bloody nearly cut my finger in half. Yeah, stupid things one does. But when I was 17, I was at a boarding school, and we bunked off school one day. This guy came back in a motor car, and I was sitting in. There were 5 of us in the car, and there were 3 of us on the back seat, and we're going along this country lane, and this was really serious accident in that the car flipped, it jackknife like that, and the 3 of us in the back were thrown out of the car like stunt people, and bang, and this girl with us, she banged her head and she was knocked unconscious. Ian, who was my friend, he landed on a soft ditch and he was okay, but he was really shocked, and he started talking weird things to people that passed by, and he was saying things like, I remember meeting you in a dream I had last night. Really weird. And me, I lost my glasses, and the thing that happened was I landed on my bum and my spine went, oh. And landing on your spine like that, and possibly breaking your spine bone is so dangerous. I could have been paralysed, but I was lucky because I was still young. At the age of 17, your bones are still quite soft, and rather than breaking, I got a couple of kind of squashed bones in my back. Painful it was, but luckily no real damage. And they showed me the x-rays, and there was a tiny little crack there, but they kind of saying you're a lucky man because you could have been paralysed, and you need to be careful who you associate with, sort of thing. So that was a bit scary. Later in life, in my early 20s, I had this wonderful great uncle, Uncle Leo, and Aunt Mary, and they didn't have children, but despite them not having children, they were a lovely eccentric couple, and they were truly in love. And when one died, the other one died within 1 or 2 days of the other one. So they kind of died together of natural causes, but one of them died of love, of missing their partner. And anyway, they were really kind in that they missed out a generation, and they left all their money to their great nephews and nieces. There were quite a few of us, and I was one of them. And it would have been enough to kind of buy a second-hand car or something. But my dad said, no, be sensible, invest the money in bricks and mortar, mate. Go get yourself a mortgage. So I did that. I got myself a mortgage, and I managed to buy a terraced house. I can't remember now. I think I bought the house for £9,000. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? And it was a bit of a wreck because it had no bathroom. It had no hot water. It had outside toilets. It had a tin bath. And over many years, me and my dad did it up, and it took a long time. For one period, there was no staircase. It was 3 floors at the back and 2 at the front. And the kitchen was downstairs in the basement at the back. And I remember he took the stairs out and he removed them to create more space to put a bathroom in at the top. And I remember cooking away downstairs and passing the food up to my mate Jonathan, who was living with me at the time, on a stepladder. Really bad. And it's, when you're in your early 20s, actually employers really make you work hard. Like junior doctors or whatever profession, you end up doing loads of hours. And I was knackered. And one day I came home and I ran a bath, upstairs, and I fell asleep. And I woke up to this drip, 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 drip about 3 or 4 hours later, and the bath had been running for about 3 or 4 hours. Can you imagine? And I run upstairs, turn the bath off, and then run downstairs again, looked up like that, and the whole ceiling fell on top of my head. And there was plaster everywhere. It was like dust. But the worst one was twice I set fire to my bed. At that time, sadly, I regret to own up that I was a smoker, and I fell asleep with a lit cigarette, and it started singeing my mattress, and that was dangerous. But the worst one was I fell asleep with my electric blanket on one day, and I kicked the electric blanket down the bed, and it was still on, and it got crumpled up, and somehow or other it was faulty, and it started setting fire to the bed. And I woke up, I'm not joking, to flames this high at the bottom of my bed. And it was massive. And quite a bit of the bed had actually burnt away. And I had to quickly put the bloody thing out, didn't I? And the house stank of smoke for about a whole week. I tell you, I'm not joking, of burnt rubbery mattress stuff. I could have died. Scary, isn't it? I'm so accident prone, it's unbelievable. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this story. And hopefully, I've got a few accidents to go yet. And I'm getting greyer in the head, as you notice from these videos, and looking much older, aren't I? But I hope you enjoy these. Do give us